Sure.
Nikhil, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So you wrote the book "One Size Does Not Fit All" about education reform, but public education reform, correct?
Yes.
And since then, you've gotten a lot of press on it. You've become basically like the poster boy for for anybody who hasn't read it, or just can you for anybody who hasn't read the book, can you summarize basically what your stance is on public education in America?
Yeah. So the book is really giving a prescription on how we can revolutionize the system through many different ways. So it talks about how students can really gain control of their education, what I call become the captains of their learning. And I talk about the curriculum, how we need to change the way politics functions in education, because most importantly, this is a nonpartisan issue. Both Democrats and Republicans, I think, have messed up education in so many ways. The most important thing to remember is that, and I say it explicitly in my book, is that I'm not an expert. I'm just giving a fresh perspective on the issue. I've been in the public school system for almost 13 years now, and I'm not even on the. I cannot be on the same level as somebody like Arnie Duncan or Michelle Rhee or Diane Ravitch or Deborah Meyer. These people who some of them I don't necessarily agree with, but who are at the forefront of education policy. So we need youth to give that unique perspective, and because sometimes we always get trapped into this kind of cocoon kind of thinking, and that's really what's happening in public education. And
Well, receptive? Did you find it hard to get these interviews, or were people eager to give information?
Yeah, no, actually, it's funny because a lot of people were very interested in giving their perspective. They were like, finally, a student actually speaking out, because they need more allies on their side, and anybody who can support their cause, I mean, they're happy to support them and give them some time.
You've had interviews at this point on Fox Business with Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell, Governor Rami. Is that correct? Is that all correct?
Well, I was at Education Nation, NBC, so I spoke with a number of those officials there.
If you could control, if you could control changing all of America's schools at once, what would you replace test scores and grades with?
Yeah, I would really start by, if I were, for example, if I were the Secretary of Education, I would push for a lot of money into research to develop very high quality, authentic assessments. And what authentic assessments really focus on is real world tasks. So, for example, there's one great assessment called the College and Works Readiness Assessment. So basically what students are doing is they're given, for example, one task is they're given a number of documents and they're told, you're the mayor of this town, fix this problem. So write essay prompts, give out a number of solutions, and this is all done in such a fashion that's creative, and you're critically thinking and you're collaborating. This is a really phenomenal assessment, and I think there can be more. There can be even better assessments that can be put into place. So along with these authentic assessments, I think there's something called badges that's been coming about very recently with the MacArthur Foundation. So what badges do is that you're basically given some kind of reward or kind of appreciation, a token for completing some kind of task. And I think that's one great step. It's not a cure-all. It's not that silver bullet, but it's one good step to show whether you're learning something.
Sure. Changing it from like a 1 to 5 is just, here, you did something good, here's something good.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we could learn something from the Boy Scouts. Can you talk a little bit more about portfolios? What is that?
Yeah, so portfolio is all the work you've done, your blog posts, your videos, your interviews, all these different types of experiences and essays and your writings, all into this kind of digital portfolio. And there are many different sites that offer this. So, for example, one school focuses only on portfolios. So when kids are applying to college, they show the work they've done over time. This is what I did in ninth grade. This is what I did in 10th grade. And they show this progress, and it's so much more valuable than just looking at a spreadsheet of test grades. Because if I were an employer, and more employers are going by this mantra, if I were an employer, I would hire somebody who has a much better and richer portfolio than somebody who doesn't and has very high test grades. Because your ability to actually complete tasks and do work and show that you can demonstrate proficiency in different things is much more valuable and important than having having good test grades.
So obviously the current model isn't working. If you could, what would you replace test scores and grades with?
Yeah, I think one of the things we need to really replace, at least in this kind of drill kill, bubble fill culture that we're having in schools today, is moving towards authentic assessments, portfolios where kids are demonstrating real work, along with badges. So you're demonstrating whether you can complete a task very well. So there are a lot of different methods and different assessments we can be using. There needs to be more research and more money devoted to this. But I think we need to start by abolishing grades because it's killing motivation. It doesn't actually help learning, and it causes a large amount of cheating in our schools.
Well, this book hype, but that's great. It's very, very impressive, the amount of press that you've been able to generate. The work that you're doing is very, very admirable.
Thank you.
I want to sort of ask, so in terms of college, is that something you're putting off in terms of applications as well? Or
Yes. In terms of college, are you going? Are you not? Are you putting it off? Are you?
Yeah, I'll be applying to college this year, but I don't plan on going in the next year and a half.
Okay, so you're just putting it in there and being like, yeah, talk to me in 20
Yeah.
What are your schools? What are your top choices?
I haven't narrowed it down yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I want to go into politics, so something of that nature.
Nice.
You would be very useful. You would be a great ally in this.
Ask if you go to prom.
Are you going to prom?
I don't know, because I'm graduating in January, so prom is in June. So I'll see if I have time. I don't know if I have a conference then.
If you're going to prom, can I be considered as a potential date?
Sure thing.
Awesome, Nikhil. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for speaking with us. The work you're doing is amazing, and everybody should be your friend.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much again.
Thanks.